of Allah, the most merciful, gracious and compassionate. most welcome. حبی فاینل هیلتی دوستای عزیز خوش آمدید. امید دارم صحت کامل را داشته باشید. In today's lecture we are talking about components of cost. If you remember, in the previous lectures generally we have talked about classifications of the cost, that we have different types of the cost. If you remember, we had natural classification of the cost. In that classification we have direct material and indirect material. We have direct labor and indirect labor, and we have direct expenses and indirect expenses. That was the natural classification of the cost. In addition, we had according to a variation in product, we had fixed cost, we had variable cost, we had semi-fixed or semi-variable cost we had, or generally we can say that we had mixed cost. The next category was degree of changeability to the product. We had direct and indirect cost, as well as we had product cost, we had period cost. We have talked about the manufacturing cost, selling and distribution cost, and administrative cost. So now we are talking about the components of the cost, that we have prime cost, we have works cost or factory cost, you can say. We have the next category was cost of production, or we can say we have CGS cost, we can say cost of goods sold, and the last one is total cost, or we have selling cost. These are the components of the cost. So prime cost is actually the combination of the direct cost, or the types of only the direct costs. We have direct material, we have direct labor, and also we have direct expenses. When we are talking the factory cost, which is the second one, in that category we have prime cost plus indirect material, indirect labor, and indirect expenses. That one is called by name of works cost, or generally we can say factory overhead plus prime cost is called by name of works cost. Guys, come here. We have components of the cost. Generally we can say about the components of the cost, that we have prime cost. I will write here prime cost. We have works cost, we have cost of production, or production cost, production, or we can see we have CGs, or cost of goods sold, and the last one is total cost. We can see we have selling cost. So now come to the general formula of these kinds of costs. Now come to the prime cost, that prime cost is equal to, I will write here, prime cost is equal to direct material plus direct labor plus direct expenses. This one is called by name of prime cost. I will write like this. So now come to works cost. How can we create or can find the works cost? Now come to here, works cost is equal to prime cost plus factory overhead. Factory overhead is the combination of the indirect material, indirect labor, and indirect expenses. That one is called by name of factory overhead. So factory overhead plus prime cost is equal to works cost. That is the formula of the works cost. The next one is cost of production. Cost of production, that's equal to, you can see, works cost plus office and administration cost. Administration cost is called by name of cost of production. So works cost, this cost plus office and administration cost is equal to by name of CJs, or cost of production. The last category is total cost. How can we find total cost? Total cost, or you can see selling cost, is equal to cost of production, or you can see CJs plus, because cost of production and CJs are the same, that I have written these things here. Cost of production plus selling and distribution cost. Distribution cost. Distribution cost. Distribution cost. This is the general formula for the cost. How can we create a prime cost? How can we define works cost? How can we create or find production cost? How can we find total cost? Now come to the example. Here is an example of the cost. It means how to prepare a cost sheet. So I will copy this one, that we have to find copy of. So you can find, we can prepare the cost statement. So how can you prepare a cost statement, or required is cost statement, or I can say how can we prepare cost statement. So guys, above is the example of the costs. Right now we can find the total cost, or we can divide them into different categories. Based on this formula, we are preparing the cost statement. This one, how to prepare the cost statement. So the first one is, now come to, if you remember, direct material plus direct, or I will write like this: DM, direct material, plus direct labor plus direct expenses is equal to prime cost. So here we have direct material and direct expenses, direct wages. So we can write here direct material is how much? We have 50,000 Afghanis here. So 50,000 Afghanis plus what? Plus direct labor. We have direct labor or direct wages. Direct wages will be given to direct labors. So direct wages are 15,000 Afghanis. 15,000 plus direct expenses. We don't have direct expenses. That one is 0. Is equal to prime cost. How much is prime cost? That is total is 65,000 Afghanis. So prime cost is equal to 65,000 Afghanis. Second, now come to the second one. We have works cost. You can write here that prime cost plus factory overhead is equal to works cost. So prime cost is actually how much? 65,000. So 65,000 Afghanis plus factory overhead. We have what? Factory overhead, that is a combination of the indirect material, indirect labor, and indirect expenses. So only we have factory expenses. That one is called by name of factory overhead. That is how much? 5,000 Afghanis. Total one is 70,000 Afghanis. So we can write here works cost is equal to 70,000 Afghanis. That is the second one. Now come to the third one, that is cost of production. Cost of production is equal to, we can write here that works cost plus office and administration cost is equal to cost of production. We can see CGs. So work cost is how much? Works cost is 70,000. I will write here 70,000 plus office and administration. Office expenses are how much? 1,000 plus 1,000 is equal to 71,000. That is what cost of production is equal to 71,000. Now come to the last one, that is total cost, or we can say selling cost. So we have cost of production plus we have selling and distribution cost is equal to total cost. So now cost of production we have 71,000. So we can write here 71,000 plus how much? Plus selling and distribution cost, that is 500. So 71,000 plus 500 is equal to 71,500. So we can write here total cost is equal to 71,500. So it was cost statement. Generally we can write, how can we prepare cost statement? We can prepare like this one. We are following the formula, the above formula. Based on this formula, we are preparing cost statement. So this was a lecture. If you have questions, so you can ask questions at the end of the class. So wish you best of luck.